Hey guys, this is Josh, and here on We Talk Crypto. Today, we're going to be talking about what to tell your friends when they tell you Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is a bubble. If you're a crypto investor, chances are you want this to obviously take off 2018 and years to come. But you don't want people fudding around saying, oh, crypto's going to die out. It's a bubble. It's all going downhill. Now, how many times have we heard that before? So, most likely when people say there's a bubble, they compare it to bubbles in history's past. I have with me here a couple examples of bubbles in the past, and I'm going to go over them and explain to you why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies aren't like any other bubbles we've seen before. So, number one, the first one I'd like to start off with is probably the oldest and most well known, is the Dutch tulip bubble of the 17th century. Tulips had become at that time huge commodity. People were buying it, collateralizing their homes to get these tulips, to buy them, resell them. The market for this grew about like 900% until people speculating and buying this started selling them off, and people couldn't resell these tulips. So that's one. Number two is South Sea bubble of the 18th century. Basically, at the time, South Sea Company was a trading company, a trading firm established in Britain. There was rumors that they were going to be doing trading with South America, which at that time was under control by the Spanish Empire. And the Spanish Empire was at war with the British Empire. So that scenario was most unlikely. But the rumors caused speculation there, and then inflated the prices about 800% here. And at that point, people, once the bubble was at its tip top, about to burst, people started selling, the speculators all sold, and people got burnt on it. So now we're kind of getting more modern here. We're going into the 20th century, in lieu of this New Year's holiday. So the Wall Street crash was the next bubble. People were so confident in the U.S. economy that stocks rose about 500% in the last 5 years, leading into the 1929 crash. The U.S. economy was at an all-time high, and investors were borrowing on margin. Basically, they had banks pretty much lend them extra money on interest to invest in the stock market. No one knew the cracks of the U.S. economy, though, and people were just speculating more than how good actually the U.S. economy was doing at that time. Once it crashed, people lost their collateralized leverage on their loans, and it all went downhill. The most recent bubble, .com bubble. This bubble is probably what's most compared to cryptocurrencies, right? Crypto is basically the web 3.0, I think they call it now. It used to be 2.0, but now it's 3.0. People are doing the same things, borrowing on leverage. Interest rates and prices rose, so it made borrowing unlikely. People were investing in all these unprofitable .com names that haven't had any business models or any value left to them, and everything just imploded after that. So these are the most quickly overview of the most recent bubbles that we've seen lately. Now, what's all in common with these things? They don't have any particular value behind them besides speculation. None at all. 0%. Zero. So now I know what you're all going to ask, or you're all going to comment, say I'm a Bitcoin hype guy, or I'm a crypto hype guy, enthusiast. So obviously I'm going to think, oh, Bitcoin's never like this. And you're very right to think that. It's very true. Bitcoin itself has very limited value as we see it today. There's a point where it used to, back before people started investing in it and using the network. Transactions were fast, and transaction speeds were really fast. But that was back then. Now, value is pretty limited. It's tough to send money to a relative overseas without enormous transaction fees. The mining is unsustainable, although profitable, but our electricity rates have been rising all around the world. So there's that too. Now, what people can't say is it has no value at all. And that's where the fudders are mistaken. See, the fudders will say Bitcoin's completely useless as a technology. As a currency, they might have some use there. But as a technology, that's not true. It's open source. And because of its technology, cryptography, We've had projects like Ethereum come along. We've had Dash, Litecoin, scalable projects where currencies can actually be used because developers were able to fork off Bitcoin. By forking, I mean using the code that Bitcoin was built on to build all these other projects and technologies that have actual value. So that's one argument I would say there. Another is for underdeveloped countries or third world countries where their currency has failed them so much that Bitcoin has actually become an acceptable and efficient currency to use in those places. Countries like Zimbabwe and Venezuela come to mind. People are pretty much abandoning their currencies and they're using Bitcoin for their daily transactions. They're mining it. That is huge over there. That has value. So that's another argument you can use. The one that I hear the most though, and I'm sure if there are any other investors here that don't only invest in Bitcoin but they invest in altcoins, then people use that as an umbrella term. Bitcoin is an umbrella for altcoins, right? Not true. There's altcoins there that have tremendous value across the board. Bank-to-bank payments, prediction markets, gambling, remittance payments in third world countries. List goes on. Value is being created every day. Companies that are actually profitable have business models working, and then they raise funds through token sales to expand their business. That's what's going on there. The Misegos of the world, the Augurs, the NEMs, all these types of currencies are creating tremendous value, and people think it's all going to bubble. Okay, that's fair. So most comparative bubble.com bubble, right? What happened after that? Did prices just drop all the way down and then no one heard a thing afterwards of the internet? I mean, we still use the internet today. No, of course not. Profitable companies came out of the woodworks and they continued the trend. Facebook, Apple, Google, Microsoft. A lot of internet companies just came out of nowhere and just started killing it. So how can we say that just because even if there is a bubble and that happens, there's going to be good currencies, good coins, good projects that come out of there and provide real value to the world. And even if it is a bubble, people were making tremendous amounts of money before the bubble. They got in at the right time and they got out at the right time. Now it's a risk, and I don't know how risk adverse you guys are, but if there's an opportunity to make the right investments, get in, get out at the right time, why would you not take it? I'm not saying you have to collateralize your home or sell your car or do anything crazy just to get some extra cash just to buy crypto. But if you do it right, you do it smart, you put in what you're willing to lose, and you have to accept what you put in as lost money already because this is so highly risky, but also there's a lot of high reward. If you do that and you do it the right way, then you'll be fine in the end, and you can come out well on top. So the fudders out there saying that there's a bubble, so what? I say, so what? Who cares? Who cares? And even like the last bubbles where there was no value, there's actually value in the technology that's behind this. For those out there, I implore, please learn the technology. If you think this is a bubble, please learn the technology, learn what it can do for the world, learn how this amazing tool is helping companies, people in underserved and underdeveloped nations. Learn how this is doing all that because it's some world-changing stuff here. That's why the technology is so valuable. So please look at all that.